What's up, everybody? It's me, E-Man from E-Man's Movie Reviews, and welcome to the very first episode of my podcast slash vlog. I don't know, whatever it is, but I figured to myself, you know what? If we're gonna be on quarantine, during this whole coronavirus thing that's going on, I wanted to just kind of introduce the podcast slash vlog, and to be honest with you, I've never done this before. This is the first time, so welcome. We get to kind of create this thing in the very beginning. It's probably going to be a little rough. I don't really have a solid format. Um, I do have a general vision of how I would like for this to go. The ideal thing that I'm thinking of is I'll cover some news topics that are happening in the movie entertainment world. Obviously, I'll give you my thoughts and commentary on it. And, from time to time, we might cover some rumors and things. And let me just kind of say this now, because some people have kind of asked me in the past, like, how come you don't do the hottest, latest Marvel rumors and, movie rumors and stuff? Look, it's not really my thing. I kind of take a lot of pride in making sure that, and I'm not saying I'm perfect at all, but I take a lot of pride in terms of trying to make sure that the content I provide to you all is as original as possible and is not a waste of time. I know there are other channels out there that tend to make a lot of money and a lot of views trying to hit you up with the clickiest, baitiest, hottest, juiciest stuff. And honestly, that's just not really my thing. Just because I don't like sending people off. Like, if I'm gonna put something out there, it's because I really believe in it or I have something really important to say about it. So what I figured with this type of podcast or vlog, I can still kind of touch on these things, but I don't need to like sensationalize it for clicks and stuff. I don't need to necessarily give people false hope or anything. I can just report it. I can give you my thoughts on it, and then we could just move on. With that said, this podcast slash vlog is really going to cover things like the entertainment news out there, some rumors, and just my general thoughts on those things. And as many of you have requested in the past, I think I'll go ahead and include some spoiler reviews for some movies as well. Now, I'm really an anti-spoiler kind of guy, so what I think I'll do is I might review or give you my spoiler thoughts on a movie that came out maybe the week before, so that way it'll kind of give you guys time to kind of go watch the movie and catch up, because I get the feeling that it might be a little hard for people to, stop a podcast, like if you're driving or whatever, especially if you're trying to avoid spoilers. Best of all, when and if time permits, hopefully I'll also be able to get some guests on here, and I'll try and make sure that these are like some good quality guests, people that can, have something to say and just really add to the conversations that we're having at the time. So that's the rough general structure of this. I don't even have a name or a title to what I would even call this podcast. I don't know, chatting with E-Man, chilling with E-Man, E-Man, chit chat. I don't know. What if you guys got a good topic, or if you got a good title for what you think this podcast could be, I'm totally open to it. Leave me a comment. In YouTube or wherever you're at. You can hit me up on the social networks. I've got all those links that I will be putting in the description as well. So that is the general structure of what we're going to be doing with this whole series. Hopefully that will, if you guys really like it, I'll keep on doing it. So that's what we're going to do as time permits. So let's get right to the news of the day, which is, of the past week, I guess. Coronavirus, it's real. This coronavirus is real. Now look, I'm not here to pretend to be some expert on these things, or one of those social media, like all in your face type of things. Like, I'm not going to tell people how they live their lives and stuff like that, but I know for myself and my family, we're keeping our butts inside. Um, Whether I believe in the virus as much or not, it doesn't matter. I'm not going to go act irresponsibly. Oh, hey, what's up, Rudy Gobert? Yeah, yeah. I'm not gonna go out there and just act recklessly for something that I just don't have a lot of information about and I'm not that knowledgeable about. So I'm just gonna go ahead and stay quarantined. I've already stocked up on my toilet tissue and stuff. I am definitely staying quarantined. Thankfully, my job is also allowing me to work from home, so I get to knock out my real work, and then I can still do a lot of work here. Only downside, and it's not much of a downside, I guess, is because I love my kids, but I'm with my kids, and yeah, they're a lot. I absolutely commend my wife and teachers and daycare people. Whoo-wee. I get it. I get it. So, but to keep it relative to what we're doing here, the biggest issue at this point is the fact that movies are getting postponed, TV shows are getting pushed back or canceled, or it's a lot of stuff going on here. And the question is like, well, what do we do? I mean, I think the first movie that was postponed, it's actually a nice little list that's been going on. It was the James Bond movie, No Time to Die. I think when people heard that that was getting pushed back, it was kind of like, oh, wow, that's sad. But it's okay. This'll brush over like real soon, right? Yeah, then more things started getting postponed. What is it, like the Minions, the Rise of Groot? Okay, all right, whatever. The Jordan Peele movie, I forget if he produces it or not. Antebellum, that's the one with Janelle Monáe, and I think it's like a slavery horror, which seems kind of redundant, but whatever. That got pushed back as well. Disney's Mulan is getting pushed back. New Mutants, New Mutants cannot catch a break. I'm really starting to wonder which one's gonna come out first. New Mutants or the Snyder Cut? I don't know. I don't know if either one are gonna come out at this point. I mean, it's just New Mutants. They not even new no more. They just old. The old mutants. That's what they are at this point. Maisie Williams she's a grown woman at this point now, and that movie got her looking like she was still Arya from Game of Thrones as like 13, 14 years old or whatever. So I don't know what they about to do with that. They need New Mutants is something that they should definitely just hurry up and release it. But we'll get to that. Let's see. Are there any others? There was this horror movie called Antlers. Guess that's getting pushed back. That's something else. I don't think anybody was really looking forward to that. A Quiet Place 2. Ugh. That was supposed to come out in April. That's not happening. If you haven't, please go see A Quiet Place or grab it. I think it's on Amazon Prime right now. Absolutely phenomenal movie. You should definitely go check that out. But and Fast 9, F9, they got postponed all the way until next year, which if I'm being honest, I don't know if it's actually such a terribly bad idea. The Fast 9, I remember when they first announced the trailer, oh my god, that was such a ridiculous show. Like, they did a whole concert for a trailer. What? Like, this is the definition of just being extra. This entire franchise is extra, and this is no different, right? So they pushed the movie back all the way until 2021, which, if I'm not mistaken, is about the same time that they were thinking about shooting and or doing Fast 10. So, and even if they push Fast 10 to 2022, right, this isn't terribly bad for them, because when you push it that close to the next film, look, they've already tried to become like another version of comic book movies. They're kind, at this point, they're so unrealistic. They're damn near the Avengers, in a sense. So I could totally see how this would play out for them in a potentially financially good way, where you just put these movies back to back. Same way Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame were back to back. Why not put Fast 9 and Fast 10 back to back? It's not like people are not going to go see it. I mean, I'll go see it. As ridiculous as these movies are, it's still a guilty pleasure. I'll still go watch them, you know. Crazy thing is, some of these studios, they don't really have much of a choice, though, because the AMC movie theater and some other theaters as well, they've recently talked about how they're just going to close down for the next 6 to 12 weeks. Well, if you don't have a theater that people can go to, it kind of ties your hands up, right? So, yeah, for at least the next, 2-3 months, theaters are just going to be shut down. So if they're shut down, what else can you do? So these theaters or these movie production studios are kind of put in an awkward position where they have to decide, do we just release our movies on video on demand, or do we wait? And it's kind of tough one way or another for them. But you do have studios like Universal Pictures who recently they went ahead and released Emma, which I hadn't heard of, so I don't know too much about it, Invisible Man, and The Hunt. So these movies had already, well, I don't know about Emma, but I know the other two, Invisible Man and The Hunt, they had already been released in theaters. Now, with the theaters being shut down, you're not making any money, so they just said, hey, you know what, we're just going to drop them on video on demand and cut bait and just get whatever we can get, right? Which I think is actually not a bad idea, because if we kind of look at the landscape of movies today, the thing is that unless you have like this big franchise name or super huge, movie stars, if we even want to call them that anymore, because even movie stars are not really being a thing, but unless you have something huge to attract people to, a lot of these smaller, less recognizable movies are not getting that much attention. So dropping them on video on demand or on streaming platforms might not be that big of a problem, especially if it's movies like The Hunt, for example, which are low budget movies. Like, these are not movies that cost a lot of money to make. So that actually could be a potentially good move for not just the consumers, but also for the studios. Now, from the consumer side, yeah, I'll absolutely take it. I'm stuck at home anyway. Give me something to watch, please. I need it, because I mean, hey, even though I'm able to work from home and kind of busy myself, unfortunately, some other people don't have that opportunity. And yeah, you're just going to need to watch something. So it's interesting that they're doing that. And it looks like, in addition to Universal Pictures, Disney has followed suit as well. Frozen 2. You're talking about another big money maker type of film. They just said, you know what? Drop it on video on demand a little bit earlier. I think it's like 3 months earlier than they normally would. And plus, they just put it on Disney Plus, just a couple days ago. Which, oh my gosh, is... My kids have Frozen 1 and Frozen 2 on loop. All day. Every day. Oh my gosh. I don't want to build another snowman. I don't want it. But hey, at the end of the day, they've got more content. And Disney Plus, let's just be honest, they needed that content. Because after Mandalorian, they've been struggling. It's I don't know, man. Like, I was looking at Disney Plus and I was like, oh, look at all these cool old shows that I've seen when I was a kid. Yeah, I'm not about to rewatch them. But hey, it's nice that they're there. I let my kids go and watch Chip and Dale and Darkwing Duck and all these other little fun shows and stuff like that. That's cool, but I need something new, So hey, the fact that they got Frozen 2, that's cool. I believe news just dropped that Disney is also going to drop Onward That's the new Pixar movie that they're doing. And that, I think, is actually a very interesting move because, as I mentioned earlier with Universal Pictures, um, those movies were low budget. Onward is not a low budget movie. That movie, if I'm not mistaken, is like $200 million in terms of their budget. That is not counting, marketing costs and all that other stuff too. So if you're about to drop something like Onward straight onto video on demand, and I want to say like 2-3 weeks after that, it'll jump right into Disney Plus. I mean, Disney's in the position, they got money. Like, Disney's not hurting for money. So that's a very interesting move because for that $200 million movie, they could have easily made $1 billion had they just held off, waited, and put it in the theaters later. So I think that speaks kind of volumes in the sense that they're willing to just be like, you know what? We're not going to make this 800 million in profit. We're just going to put it on Disney Plus. And there's no way they're about to make $1 billion on Disney Plus because, the majority of the money that comes from there comes from subscriptions. And I don't really see any real movie drawing a huge amount of subscribers onto Disney Plus. Frozen 2, Onward, that I just don't see that as being compelling for someone to just be like, ooh, let me go sign up for Disney Plus right now. But this does bring us to the next movie on the Disney/Marvel slate, which is Black Widow. What do you do with that? Because Black Widow is supposed to come out first week of May, in this summer, and well, that's kind of in the window of the closing for theaters. Now, that kind of opens up a very interesting possibility because if Black Widow, which I want to say cost like 175 million, I mean, that's less money than Onward. Now, Black Widow probably was not going to make $1 billion. I'm thinking maybe it'd make like 600-700, maybe like Ant-Man money, Doctor Strange money. Disney might be willing to just be like, drop it on Disney Plus, drop it on video on demand. We don't know. They might just do that. That'll be a very interesting move. I wonder if that would make people more inclined to jump in, because the thing with Marvel and Disney is the fact that like they've had a huge thing with the MCU plotted out for a long time. So because of that, if you postpone one thing, it's going to possibly impact other things. So what is it, Falcon and Winter Soldier, the Scarlet Witch and Vision, a lot of these Disney Plus shows are going to be tied in with the movies, and I haven't seen it yet, but my assumption is that Black Widow is going to tie in to a lot of those Disney Plus shows too. It's the first movie in the new phase of the MCU, so it makes sense that they're going to put all these little nuggets in there that are going to spring up and be maybe Easter eggs for future shows. One prevailing rumor out there, especially with the inclusion of General Ross in Black Widow, that might be the startup for the Thunderbolts. If you're familiar with that in the comics, it's basically a ragtag team. I don't want to say it's like the Suicide Squad in DC, but it's kind of the similar thing of just a mixed bunch of hero or anti-heroes and villains, and basically they just go do all these different missions and stuff. So there's a possibility that happens. We might. I don't think Black Widow is going to show us Red Hulk, but Thunderbolt Ross, he might be going through some experiments. Maybe we see a tease of that. And I don't know if it's going to be in the She-Hulk Disney Plus show, but somewhere down the line, we're going to see a Red Hulk come out. And I want to say there was also a rumor that the Thunderbolts Disney Plus series was going to be something that would be in the works. It hasn't been official, but they're putting all the pieces together to basically lead up to that. So, Black Widow coming to Disney Plus. At first, I'll admit, I didn't really think it was a possibility, but now that they dropped Onward, or that they will be dropping Onward onto Disney Plus, I don't know. It seems pretty likely at this point. Also, and this is breaking news as of today, there was a report on TheWrap.com that was talking about how Warner Brothers is considering whether they should drop Wonder Woman on video on demand. That's going to be very interesting too. Let me read the quick quote here. It says, according to the Warner insiders, the preference is still to release the movie theatrically, but executives are considering a streaming alternative, probably as a direct-to-consumer offering rather than as a part of Warner's soon-to-launch subscription service, HBO Max. The concern, the insider said, is that there is no known date for movie theaters to reopen, and there may be a shortage of favorable dates once theaters do come back online for the many films that have been postponed. Wonder Woman is still officially slated for wide release on June 4th. Well, that'll be a very interesting decision. I mean, if I were Warner Brothers, I personally think that it's a little too soon to make that decision. Because it's June 4th, right? June 4th would be around the time where theaters are going to potentially, maybe, reopen. And again, if you are going to reopen, that is going to be the time when you want to capitalize on that money, right? And, this kind of brings us to another question that I'll get to later, but I kind of think that people are going to be ready to just get out there and go see these things in the theaters. I know I am, but we'll touch on that in a little bit. But would I mind seeing Wonder Woman on HBO Max? No. I mean, look, I'm a cinemaphile, I'm a movie buff, I'm a movie lover. You put anything on video on demand or on streaming platforms, I'm going to watch it, period. Yes, could it be better on the big screen? Of course. Some movies are better to be seen on the big screen, and some you can get away with. I do think Wonder Woman is one of those movies that should be seen on the big screen, but, these are very specific times, so if that were to be the case, I'd be fine with it. I'm not sure that one movie, though, is going to be enough to entice somebody to hurry up and join HBO Max, because, look, I'll be honest, all these subscription streaming things, if you've been following me on Facebook, where I do a lot of my commentary and stuff, these things are going to add up so much that it's going to be just like paying for cable. Like, my bill already is kind of close to what it used to be. I got Hulu, no, I don't have Hulu, I'm sorry. I almost got Hulu, but I didn't like their terms of subscription and how you can only stream to like one or two like that's stupid. But I got Netflix, we got Disney Plus, we got Amazon Prime Video already. And it's kind of like, all right, after so long, we got to slow down. We just got to slow down. So, maybe, hey, you know what? Maybe I'll take advantage of a 14-day trial. Because if you're just going to drop a movie here or there, I only want to see that movie. But let me not sleep on the fact that HBO does have some quality programming. I do need to catch up on Watchmen and on Westworld. So, I don't know. Maybe I just talked myself into doing it, But anyway, I think it's too early. I think Warner Brothers should wait. I think they should hold off until we just have more information. Because right now, nobody really knows. Nobody really knows what's going to happen in the next month or two or whatever. Maybe things calm down and we can go back to normal. Maybe things don't calm down and we have like a more dire outlook. I don't know, but whatever happens, I think it's best to just kind of play it by ear. But this brings me to a better question for you all, which is kind of this. If these subscription streaming platforms, the Disney Pluses, the HBO Max, and all that, if they happen to drop, let's say, a movie that would have been in theaters, right? So, like a real hot movie, Black Widow, Wonder Woman, something like that, Fast Nine, even. Are you okay with paying a little extra? You know, if you were to get it earlier, you know, um, I was thinking, kind of like pay per view. Like, would you pay that little bit of extra money just to see it earlier? It's, I hate the question for myself only because as a content creator, movie critic, I kind of have to, regardless. Like, if y'all drop it, I need to watch it so I can talk about it and, make some content. But if I wasn't in the position that I was in now, probably not. I'd probably just wait and just be like, man, y'all gonna drop it on for free? Yeah, you're gonna drop it for, I don't know, $10, $15 now, but then in 2, 3 weeks it'll be right on the platform I'm already paying for. I'll wait, you know. But I'm kind of a frugal minded person as well, so maybe that's just me. I don't know about you guys, but I do think if they do something reasonable with the prices, like maybe they do something for people that are not subscribers, which I think actually wouldn't be a bad idea. Kind of give people a taste, right? So if you're Disney Plus or if you're HBO Max and people are just kind of like, I really want to see that one thing, but I really don't feel like paying y'all a whole bunch of money, or I don't want to go through the hassle of subscribing and then unsubscribing and, all that. Maybe they just do something like, hey, you get a rental or something. I mean, Fandango now does something like that. The technology is out there if people really want to do it. Maybe you just do it as a rental. Maybe you just do it like, hey, $5.99, $5 or whatever, and you get this movie before anybody else, that are not subscribers or that are subscribers or whatever. You just pay 5 something bucks. I think that'd be fair. I paid $5. I mean, I've paid $5 for bad movies in the theater, and I think that's kind of like the baseline, right? Like $5, $5 Tuesdays. That's about it. Like I'll pay that, and whether it's a bad movie or a good movie, it's only $5. It's not gonna kill me, So, I think that'd be the closest that I would do for something of that nature. But let me know, like, what is your price range? If some streaming platform were to drop it, drop some hot movie, something that you're interested in. How much are you willing to pay? What's the most that you're willing to pay? And, what's the least outside of free, of course. By the way, as I was recording this, news just broke out again saying that Warner Brothers has actually confirmed that they'll be sticking to the theatrical release for Wonder Woman for now. Okay, all right. Hey, good for them. Moving on. If by any chance you have not subscribed to my channel, or if you just missed it, during these tough times of, being under quarantine and stuff, I did release a video of what you can watch as you are quarantining and chilling. It is basically a composite of my top 10 picks on Netflix. And then I add a couple extra bonuses for Amazon Prime Video as well. So be sure to go check that video out. What I tried to do with it is include some movies and some TV shows that you can binge, while you're cooped inside. And I tried to stay away from, like, the more popular things like Stranger Things or Breaking Bad or The Office. But just, I think they took The Office off of Netflix already. Well, anyway, but you know what I mean. I try to recommend a couple things that basically are maybe a little lesser known. I mean, you might have already seen some of them, but I don't know. Maybe there are a couple in there that you haven't seen. And, these are things that I've actually watched and I've actually seen. So I wanted to give you that, a little bit of reassurance that, yes, this is E-Man approved, to some degree. But But yeah, by all means, definitely go check that video out. I'll try to remember to also put a link to that in the description. Or you could just go subscribe to my YouTube channel, and then you'll never miss out on stuff like that. See how that works? Lovely. Oh my gosh. And breaking news, Rosario Dawson has been cast as Ahsoka Tano in The Mandalorian Season 2. Alright. For you non-Star Wars fans, bear with me for a second. This is great news. I cannot recall the last time a fan desired actor to actually land the role that people have wanted for them. Rosario Dawson has been, for a long time, she has been campaigning to play the live action version of Ahsoka Tano for a long time, and and I fully support it. I mean, she looks like the character, and she can sound like her too. So it's a slam dunk and a win, I think, for all fans to be able to have her actually play the role. And on top of that, if you're looking for something to binge, my goodness, the Star Wars Mandalorian on Disney Plus is absolutely the best thing on there outside of the MCU. It is some of the freshest content, I think, for the Star Wars lore, and it is one of those things where, like, I don't even know if you need to be a Star Wars fan to enjoy it. I think it's at that point where it's a nice opener. Obviously, it would be more helpful if you are familiar with Star Wars to, kind of get all the references and the little Easter eggs and the little callbacks and stuff. By the way, I do have a video about that as well. Like, if you're a beginner in Star Wars and you don't know where to start, I got a video for that as well to kind of tell you, like, probably my recommended best order in terms of jumping into the Star Wars fandom and just kind of getting a feel for, like, what it's all about and just enjoying it. And when you get done with that, if you happen to hey, you got time to watch things now, right? You're on quarantine or whatever. So if you got time to go through all the Star Wars movies, I absolutely recommend that you sit down and watch Star Wars Clone Wars. Don't be fooled by just, the fact that it's animated or whatever. It's a good show. I mean, the character development is phenomenal. The stories are good. They have some splashes of humor here and there. That will be an excellent way for you to get, I would say, the full nerd experience. Like, if you ever saw a Star Wars nerd and been like, I don't get it, what's the big deal? Watch Clone Wars. Clone Wars is going to be like, oh, I get why this is a thing, Oh, and by the way, and this sucks, I wish Disney Plus would fix this. Make sure you go to, I want to say it's StarWars.com, or just Google Star Wars Clone Wars correct order, or chronological order, because the episodes are not put in chronological order, and it can get pretty confusing. And until you watch it in the right order, then it'll make more sense. But Star Wars has been a mess for a long time, so let me get off that soapbox. I'm not gonna trip on that. I just really wanted to tell y'all that Rosario Dawson is going to be Ahsoka on The Mandalorian. The Mandalorian is dopeness, especially shout out to Baby Yoda. So yeah, that must watch right there. But I was on this just to kind of shift gears a little bit. I was on another podcast, Kick the Seat, with Ian Simmons. Great podcast. Check them out if you get a chance, and YouTube channel. I'll try again to remember to put a link in the description for that. And in that episode, we were talking about this question that some people are having, which is, with all this virus stuff going on, with all this pandemic, with, I don't know where you're living, but here in Illinois, we just got the notice from the governor that the state is going to be shut down, or, basically it's like a sit your butt at home order, or whatever. And there was a question that was asked, which was, how is this going to affect us moving forward? Is this going to change, how we go to the theaters? Are we gonna get real comfortable? Like, let's say this lasts for 6 months, and we just can't go to movie theaters for 6 months. Are we about to change? Are we about to be comfortable and stay at home and watch things and just stream them and that's it? Look, my personal opinion about this is the fact that I don't believe that we will change anytime soon. Um, I think other things around us are going to change. So this kind of boils into the bigger question of, will theaters be, a thing of the past, and will like streaming services kind of like take over, right? Will we just become couch potatoes and watch streaming services and shows and movies, and that's it, And I say straight up, no, that's not gonna happen. Um, and here's my reason why. There's a couple reasons actually. One, most people, the average person, I would say, don't even have HD yet. Like that's still something that people are catching up to. I know people that still have antennas. That's crazy, but they still have them. So if people don't even have HD TVs, like the average person, and I'm including your grandma too, right? If that doesn't even become a thing for the average consumer, I don't personally see that as being a good transition away from theaters. Because you go to a theater because it's usually a bigger screen, a nicer couch setting, you got food and stuff. And it's like, unless your house has an equivalent or similar setup, it doesn't have to be as lavish. I'm just saying, like, if your home is set up to the point where you have a comparable theater experience, then I don't see why people would be like, forget the theater, let me stay home. Yeah, the videos, even if the movies are coming earlier, onto demand or whatever, I still don't think that that's going to replace the theaters because, again, you're not going to get, as crisp of a theater viewing or a movie viewing compared to like IMAX. Like you're just, unless you got it like that financially, that's just not going to be the case. So yeah, you're gonna have that issue. Again, I do think that the one thing that kind of plays in favor for streaming versus going to the theater is going to be for the smaller indie movies. For those movies that probably weren't going to get a lot of attention anyway, yeah, go on to streaming. That'll give people a little bit more opportunity to discover them. And hopefully, maybe you get some word of mouth, and that word of mouth is going to make your movie relevant and more people will watch. Just think about Bird Box. Bird Box dropped on Netflix just like any other movie, but it wasn't until people started talking about it that it was like, oh, this is a thing, and then everyone started watching it. So I get the feeling that that will be one thing for smaller movies, but when it comes to bigger movies, we're not about to just stop going. Even, and the analogy that I would give to you is this, in the past, well, not even in the past, just currently, you still eat food at home, right? You still can cook at home, right? If you do all that, why do people still go out to the restaurants? Why do you still go out to eat? Why do you still order takeout? You do those things usually for the experience. You do them to go out on a date, to change your scenery. I don't know about you guys, but look, it's been day, 4 or something? I'm losing track of days at this point. It's crazy. But I'm sitting here like, I want to get out of here. I want to go home. I want to go somewhere else. I want to go out. I want to take my wife on a semi-hot date. I need to do something, outside of my house. And I'm sorry, I can't sit here and just Netflix and Amazon and Hulu all day. I can't do that. So yeah, I do believe that theaters are going to be just fine. I do think that theaters will adjust though. And on that podcast that I was on, a really good example that was brought up was the situation with 9/11. Now, if you all recall, with the terrible tragedy of 9/11, there was a pretty sizable panic going on, especially when it came to flying. People were nervous. I'll admit, I was nervous. Like, you go to an airport and you just kind of looking around, and anybody suspicious and any suspicious behavior, like things were kind of nerve wracking, right? Or even the movie theater shooting, that's the mass shooting that happened in the past. That was also nerve wracking as well, right? Like I don't know about you guys, but for me, when I go into a theater, I'm like, where are the exits? Okay, cool, cool, cool. All right, cool. And I'm looking at people that are coming in, and like, wait, it's summertime. Why are you wearing a trench coat? Like I'm just peeping everything. I'm making sure I'm keeping my surroundings, just on top notch. So, you know, what ended up happening though, if you noticed in both scenarios, movie theaters now, when you sit in there real early, what do they say? Check your surroundings. If something is weird, let somebody know. Like they put that message out there. And in the case of after 9/11, what happened in airports? They started doing way more TSA security. And I think what ends up happening is when you translate that type of information to people, we start to become a little bit more comfortable, right? Like, we're still going to be aware of these things, but when you put these certain procedures in place, now people are going to be a little bit more comfortable, I think, to engage in these things that we used to be afraid of. So, in the realm of this pandemic, with movie theaters and stuff like that, I could totally imagine that movie theaters are going to probably blast your email and be like, hey, we're taking this thing seriously. We're wiping down all the chairs, like, after every movie now, or something, or we're spraying Lysol on everything, I think a pretty reasonable thing that they could definitely do is install more hand sanitizers, like just around the theaters. Just do that. Or maybe like grocery stores are starting to do now. Include a couple, like right at the entrance, include some wipes or something, so I can sit down and I can wipe down my chair if need be. Like if I'm that germaphobe, at least I'll feel more comfortable going into the theater knowing that I can wipe this down if I want to, and when I get up, boom, 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 I can wash my hands, or I can get some hand sanitizer right there at the exits. Problem solved. At that point, I don't see anyone deciding to still be a shut-in, and do all this social distancing and stuff. I think that, hey, if we all get the right information from the right officials and experts that are just like, hey, you know what? It's cool to go out again. It's cool to do this. Obviously, be smart about things, X, Y, Z. Yeah, if you cough a couple too many times, you do two suspect coughs, you might get a quick look, but at least I know, we can kind of adjust and clean up. Maybe I move myself to another chair, something. But at the end of the day, I don't think that people are going to be as freaked out. I think we're going to be right back to normal. I think we will make better adjustments in the future. And, it'll be fine. Like, I'm an optimist. I think we're going to be just fine about this. And, yeah, when that time comes, it'll come. So, that's it. That's all I got for today. Thank you all so much for joining me and for listening. If you've been listening, watching, if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, this is, again, my very first time doing this whole podcast vlog thing. I will try to jump on here and do a couple more. I think this episode is probably going to be a little bit longer than normal. What I will do moving forward is, I'll try and have like all these little news bits and stuff for the week ahead of time, and I'll just have everything ready as much as possible for you guys. And if there's like some crazy breaking news, or just something that we just gotta talk about, then yeah, I'll just drop like maybe a quick emergency episode or something like that. But I would say that I'm gonna try and do this weekly, maybe on the weekends or something like that when time permits. Hey, if you enjoyed this, by all means, please, share it with somebody that you think will enjoy this content. If you're on YouTube, leave a comment, like, subscribe, if you enjoyed this as well. If you're listening to me on iTunes, Stitcher, or any other type of, podcasting platform, please subscribe. Hey, leave me a review. Hopefully like a good one. But leave me a review. I'll definitely do my best to check them all out. I am always open to some constructive and not damaging criticism. So if there are ways that you guys think that I can make this better, or more things you'd like for me to talk about, let me know. I'm on all the social media platforms. Again, all those links will be in the description. Probably the most frequented one that I use is going to be Facebook. That's on E-Man's Movie Reviews, the Facebook fan page. Please come and join the fun. My goodness, we do so much fun stuff there. I'm talking about like reviews and trailers and movie news and memes. And oh my goodness, I got in trouble with this meme. If you haven't seen it by now, I did this Idris Elba meme days before, I should say, days before he caught the coronavirus, and people were like, "You Simpson, Idris Elba, you did this to him," and I'm like, "I didn't mean to. I'm so sorry, Idris." Yeah, I did this Hot Ones meme about him. I can't believe people are still watching this. This thing has 2 million views. Bananas. So yeah, anyway, come and check me out. Follow, subscribe, tell a friend, all that good stuff. Thank you all so much for joining me. Until next time, I'll see you guys later.